Hey y'all, I'm Diane. Welcome to my Farmstead dream. I'm going to make some fried potatoes today, and I thought I'd just run the video on and show you how I make mine because I like mine real crispy. So if you want crispy fried potatoes, just take a peek at the video. I don't use white potatoes. Most people use white potatoes for fried potatoes. I'm not a huge fan of white potatoes, so I like red potatoes better, so I'm using red potatoes. You can use white potatoes if you want. This will work the same way for white potatoes. I just like the flavor of red potatoes better. So, let's get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop up some red potatoes and some onions. I'm using purple onions and white sweet Vidalia onions. So, here we go.
I truly wish I really could cut things this quickly. It would make my job in the kitchen a lot faster.
Okay, so we're going to add some salt and some pepper. So I'm just going to throw some good old salt in there. And I like a lot of salt because, you know, potatoes, it takes a lot of salt for them to have some good flavor. And then the next thing I'm going to add is some of our garlic powder we made from our garlic greens. And I'm just going to add a little bit, about that much. So it's probably about a teaspoonful. So we're just going to sprinkle that in. Okay, and here's the key to crispy potatoes. I'll show you. Cornstarch. This is what is going to crisp up your potatoes and make them so yummy. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to sprinkle some in here, just enough to kind of cover everything. Okay, I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Again, because I don't measure. Sorry. Okay, but it's just enough to get everything covered, and then I'm going to stir it up real good. Now, really and truly, you don't have to add any oil or anything to these because potatoes, when you cut them up, they have their own natural juices that will kind of incorporate this cornstarch, onto the potatoes. But if you find that it's not coating them as much as you want it to, you're welcome to put you a little olive oil on there or a little bacon grease because y'all know I love me some bacon grease. It's just healthier than the stuff you buy in the store. So anyways, you just want to stir it up good, make sure everything's coated good. Here, I'll show you. There you go. So everything's kind of coated good, and then we're just going to plop them in the pan. Okay, so I've got my iron skillet here. We're going to turn it on high and let it get good and hot. And y'all, I reuse my oil. This is the cooking oil that I fried my last potatoes in. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour it in the pan. You want your oil to be, pretty thick. I mean, you want enough oil to cover your potatoes, okay? So I'm going to put that in. Now that's not going to be enough, so I'm going to get some more oil. Okay, so this is just vegetable oil. It's not my favorite, but for fried potatoes. Now you can use Crisco shortening. You want to make sure your oil is good and hot before you put your potatoes in. Otherwise your potatoes will be real greasy. And you don't want them to be real greasy. You want them to be crispy, but not soggy with grease. And the way I know if my oil is hot enough, I'm just going to put a potato in there and see how it's just kind of sitting there. It's not frying yet, which tells me my oil's not hot enough yet. But this way I haven't ruined the whole pan. I've just, that one potato will be okay. So we're going to wait and let it heat up a little bit longer. Okay, so my potato's frying pretty good now, which tells me my grease is ready. Yep, that's going to be a good crispy potato. So now we're going to add the rest of our potatoes and onions in. So we're just going to very carefully pour our potatoes and onions into our hot oil. And I'm barefooted, so be careful. You don't want to splash this on your feet if you're like me and you like to cook barefooted, because I get hot in the kitchen. Okay. And then I'm just going to spread those out. And then I am going to put a lid on these and just let them fry for about, well, we'll start with 10 minutes. So we'll just put our lid on and let them cook, and don't touch them for about 10 minutes. Oh, and by the way, you do want to turn your pan down to about medium high, low high. I would say medium to low high. And listen, while your supper's cooking, go ahead and start washing your dishes. That way, when it's time to sit down and eat dinner, you don't have a whole piled up kitchen full of dishes that you gotta deal with after you get your belly full. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Be careful when you take the lid off. I'm just going to sit it on the sink over there, and we are going to give her a stir. And look how crispy those are already. So good. So I leave the lid on so that they can soften on the inside and cook on the inside and not cook too much, you know, when you're trying to fry them and get them crispy. Look at that. Yum. And there's nothing like cooking them in an iron skillet, y'all. If you're not a fan of an iron skillet, you might want to rethink that, because it took me a while to decide to cook with an iron skillet because I thought it was such a hassle to clean them. But actually, it's easier than cleaning your regular pots and pans, and it's much more healthy for you. Okay, so I'm going to give it a good stir, and then I'm going to take a fork and I'm just going to pierce it just to see. And so it's not quite softened up yet, so I'm going to put the lid back on for maybe 5 to 8 more minutes, and we're going to let them cook a little bit longer, and we'll be right back. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to take the lid off, and we're just going to see. Okay, they're good and soft now, so now I'm going to turn the heat up, and I want these to fry real good. And it'll take them, you know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to start crisping up real good. Alright, now I like a little bit of a mix of soft and crispy potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a scoop of these potatoes out, and I'm going to put them in my little strainer over here. Just like that. I'm going to kind of spread them out. And I've got a lined pan underneath lined with paper towels. And then we'll spread these out, and they'll start crisping up real pretty quick. Okay, they're looking good. Look how crispy those are. Yummy. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and get some in the basket over here, so I can kind of show you what they look like. Can you see that okay? Look how deliciously crispy those are. Okay, there we go. Look at how yummy those potatoes look. Nice and crispy, flavorful. I don't know if you can hear that, but oh my goodness, I cannot wait to dig in. Okay, y'all. There they are. How good does that look? Oh my, they are so yum. Let's try a bite. Just enough crispy. They're soft on the inside, so you know they're cooked well done. So good. Let me know in the comments if y'all try this, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share the video. Y'all help me out because I'm trying to grow my channel. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to go check out the other video with the barbecue baked beans, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. So hope y'all have a good day. Big hugs.